Hi everybody, welcome to Crafting with Kelly. So today we're going to make these cute little sheep ornaments. They turn out so cute. They were always a top seller in the Christmas bazaars that I used to do. I used to sell them completely out. I thought they were darling. My husband doesn't care for them at all. So anyway, okay. So we're just going to draw a pattern on a piece of paper, kind of like a little wonky horse with short legs. Doesn't have to be anything special. We're going to cut out 2 of those with felt. You're going to sew them together all the way around like this. Leave the bottom open here. And then you're going to flip it inside out so that all your stitching's on the inside. You could do it, hand stitch it too, but I found the sew machine is much more firm with your stitches, so then it doesn't really have any wonky areas. Okay, so now we're going to take stuffing and we're going to stuff him. Make sure you get some up there in his head. We're going to stuff him. You don't have to stuff him too tight. Do make sure there's a little bit more in his head and feet area so that they will stay, stand out from the yarn a little bit here. And when you're all done here, you can choose to hand stitch it closed if you'd like. I just hot glue it closed because the yarn is going to cover it all up and you're not going to see any of that. So get all that. Just get a little bit more stuffing for his other foot. Get it down in there. And then I'm going to poke all that up a little bit farther away from where we're going to hot glue it because we're going to hot glue that closed. Let's see if I can hold it here. And you don't have to be perfect with this because we're going to cover it all up with that yarn. All right. Pretty simple. Okay, so you're going to end up with a little guy that looks like this. Kind of a wonky looking thing. Oh, we did not hold that long enough there. Make sure you hold it till it is cooled down. I used to do a lot of sheep for the Christmas bazaars. I think I sold them for like $5 each back then, and they always sold out. Okay, so we're gonna smush that yarn a little bit down to his leg. Okay, so now I have this light and airy yarn. I think it was by Red Heart. I can't remember. I bought this so many years ago. They don't make it anymore, which is very upsetting. I thought, oh. So we're going to go a little ways up his leg. You want to leave a little bit showing on his legs, so that will be his feet. You don't want to go all the way down. So it looks like that. Leave a little bit of a bottom empty. Okay, I'm going to unravel quite a bit of this here. All right, and then we're just going to do a little bit of hot glue, not tons, just enough to stick that yarn to the felt. And we're just going to wrap it around. I'm going to go back down. You don't want any of the black showing through. I used to do a black sheep also out of the light nary, so you know, you always have to have the black sheep of the family. And I would always sell them out too. So, all right. We're just going to keep wrapping him around. One more there. We'll hold it. Move that over and adjust it so it's okay. All right. I'm going to do one more layer here. All right. I'm going to do a little bit more on that. Hold it down. Got to remember to get my good scissors, not my junky ones that I cut all the wood with and everything, so then they don't work. My goodness. All right. Okay. Got to put one more glue stick in my glue. Okay. I'm going to cut that a little bit longer, and we're just going to glue that down. You don't have to cut these. I mean, you can keep on wrapping in every direction. I just like to do kind of sections here. All right. So now we got that done. Make sure that's all good so it doesn't come off. That one's a little bit, just going to do a dollop. Glue under that. You don't want him coming off and coming down his leg and falling off his feet. So, all right. So I'm going to cut that off. All right. So I think we will start another one here. This stuff's pretty nice. It's pretty forgiving. Can't really tell where things stop and start because it's all fuzzy. Just gonna kind of put that all over. All right, and we're just gonna start wrapping. Go down, go up, over. Let's flip it over, see what it looks like on that side. We're gonna glue that one down there. And sheep are supposed to be a little fat and fluffy, so it's all right. We're gonna just keep on getting them a little bit fuller and fluffier. I can get organized. You know me, I'm never organized. All right, I'm gonna stick a little bit more glue on this area. We're just gonna wrap that one up and over. Make sure you hit those glue spots. All right. A big chunk of glue there. Okay. So I'm gonna go back and put a little bit of glue all in here. Put that piece of yarn all in there. bit more up there. We're going to move that one over just a little bit and press all the fuzzies down so then they'll cover. All right. Now we're going to start going over more towards his stomach area. So we're just going to put the glue all over here. We're going to start going this way, and we're just going to keep wrapping back and forth around till he's kind of fuzzy wuzzy. Come over, make sure both sides are covered, which they are. Okay. I gotta get another glue stick. Should have bought stock and glue sticks. I think every crafter needs to. All right, I'm gonna put a little bit of glue down there just to make sure we smush that down. A little bit more glue in there. Move that yarn over so it's, make sure we get that down. All right. It's looking good. A little bit down there. All right. And I obviously have a big chunk of glue there. All right. Get some more yarn. All right. That should hopefully do the rest of them. All right. So I'm going to start on this foot, kind of do it in about the same area, leave a little empty spot at the bottom so that he has his little legs sticking out. We're just going to wrap that around. Hold it. Okay. We're going to start coming up on the other area here. I mean, I suppose you could cut strips and, you know, keep hot glue and strips on them if you would like, or whatever. I like doing the wrapping method. Okay, so see how that came down off of his leg? We're going to do hot glue there and make sure we smush it up. Since that's all fuzzy, I think I'll just put a dollop of glue there and we'll smush that piece of fuzz down. There we go. All right. Okay, now we're going to keep on. That piece is pretty fuzzy there too. We'll put a little dollop of glue there. Hold that down. Okay, we're going to put a little bit more glue in there. Hold that on there so it covers that. All right, so now we're going to put glue here. Glue all in here. We're going to wrap it around his neck. And then we're going to start going this opposite direction. A little bit of glue there. I'll just pull that over. And I do sometimes just go back, and if I see a spot I've missed, I just go back and cut a little piece and just hot glue it on there. You're not going to see where it starts and ends. little bit of hot glue there. We're going to move that over. I think I'm just going to cut that off and we will put that there. Okay. So and I'll show you what I mean here. I'm just going to cut off a little piece of the yarn. I'm just going to put a little dollop of glue there, and we're just going to put that piece of yarn right there. Pull that yarn down from his neck. Get that in there. Okay. I just didn't want it to get so super thick there, so I think I'll just cut a couple pieces off here. We'll just put a little bit in that area to cover up our little hole. These guys don't take too long. They're, you know, maybe 30 minutes, not too long. Okay, let's see. That one's a little bit loose in there. I'm just going to put a little dollop of hot glue. We want these guys to be sturdy and to last. All right, now we got that all done. Now we're going to finish his head. So let's see, how much yarn do we got left? Maybe enough. Okay, so now we are going to do the same thing on his face like we did his bottom of his feet. We're going to leave an area left open. So that's his nose sticking out. Wrap some of that yarn around there and hold it good and tight. That's what I didn't do with his foot, right? It came down where I showed you how to push it back up and wriggle it. Okay, we're gonna put a bunch of hot glue in here. And then we're just gonna wrap him up. I think I got a piece of twine from that yarn or fabric in there. Okay, get that out of there. Oh man, that messed it up. All right. Pull that down. Okay, need to cut one more little chunk. And believe it or not, I've had this ball of yarn for a very long time. I've been babying it. Oh, because I don't want it to ever end. I'm like, seriously, so sad. I found some like Sherpa yarn, but I don't know. It's just, I like this. It just looks so much like little sheep fur. All right. And then we're going to go around, back up, over. All right. I think we got all the areas covered. Okay. So we are going to hot glue that down. Split up. Cut off that. All right. Get all my chunks of glue off my fingers. My goodness. Okay. Quite the messy glue gun person I am. Okay. Get his little hair on his head to lay down. All right. I think he's pretty good. Any loose areas, we're going to just go back in, put a little bit of hot glue down, hold it. You don't have to do every spot, but just, you know, make sure that it's not going to move. All right. I think he's pretty good. Got a little bit of fuzz there. You can go back and you can trim off really big fuzzies if you have some that you don't like or like that. Trim that off. Okay. All right, there he is. Not too bad. Okay, so now we are going to take our piece of felt. We're going to cut him a very couple small, teeny ears. You can make them pointy if you want. You can make them round. It's not any rhyme or reason to his little ears. Oh, and I lost that piece. Okay, we're going to cut another one. All right, that one's a little bit bigger. And cut off the bottom. I don't want them sticking too far up. So we're just going to find a placement for them. We're going to just set them right in there. So I usually kind of hold the top of the ear. Put a little bit of glue on the bottom. Make sure they're not too far back, not too far forward. All right, like that. Get all that glue off of there. And we'll do his other one. Make sure you get them kind of even. You don't want them too wonky. All right, there's his little ears on him. That one's a little bit bigger than the other one. I think we'll... All right. Okay. And I do like the rustic sheep look, so I think I am going to put some brown on them. Let's see, that one's navy blue. I do like this brown checkered. It's homespun fabric. It's super easy to work with. You can just cut a chunk, tear it, and that's what we will use to wrap around his neck. You can cut off all these long strings if you want, or you can leave them on there. It depends on what you want. If you want this grungier, you can, you know, put some coffee grounds and cinnamon on it and grunge it up and let them be a really grungy sheep. Or, okay, so we're gonna tie a little bow around them. Let's see, I want that one a little bit smaller. Oh, okay. And I will tell you, I am not a good bow maker at all. I watch women on YouTube and they just whip out their little bows and I'm like, oh my goodness. I'm sitting here struggling just with a simple bow. All right. Yeah. Or you can put a piece of very, you know, green garland around him, tie it. You can do whatever you want. Okay, so I'm going to stick a couple little bells on him. Maybe I'll just do one bell today on that one. But you can do whatever sort of decorations you want to do to make him your own little project, and you know, whatever you want to do, make you happy. Okay, so now we have to put a hanger on him. Okay, so I just take, sometimes I do twine like I did on these guys. I just stuck twine through them. That was a little bit of difficulty to get on there, but I did it. So on this one, I thought I'd just get some embroidery thread and stick it right through. And oh yeah, that's so much simpler. All right. Now on this one, you do have to make sure that you get it kind of more towards the front of him, not exactly in the middle. If you get it in the middle, he will hang more like that. So you want him to be a more even area. So that he seems to be hanging all right there. Okay, I'm going to turn that around, tie a knot in it, actually a double knot. Then I'm just going to pull it up and tie a knot. These are great for, you know, your farmhouse trees, your wreaths outside, anything rustic. They're really cute little sheep. Or if you want to sell them at the craft fair, make a whole bunch of them. People love them. I'm just going to trim some of that off because little feet are sticking. Let's see what's that. Okay, that's twine I cut off. And there he is. He's done. Super cute, super easy. It doesn't take much to make them. And just fantastic little sheep. You can make them smaller. You know, if you wanted to downsize your pattern, just draw a silly looking horse and just make it smaller. You know, half that. So you can do littler sheep or you could do bigger ones. I think these guys are a pretty good size. They're about 5 inches. Yeah, they're about 5 inches long. And, you know, they're not too fat. But, and then I just decorate them all different ways with the red check, the buffalo check, and, you know, do a whole tree full of them. All right, guys. Well, like and subscribe and let me know if you're liking my videos or not liking my videos. I'm not sure. So I'm still trying. So if my recording's a little wonky, forgive me. I'm still trying. All right, ladies. Well, have fun crafting and have a great day. Thank you.